Hello there, everybody. Welcome to the Heed Army podcast. The elusive retain list has been published, and we've got some sort of idea about how the squad is starting to hold up at the moment. But as we say that, there's tweets going out already tonight. Alexa, stop alarm. As it started playing in the background. You may have seen this. I took this off the Heed Army chat because I had on the Facebook group, and also had seen it before. Peter O'Rourke is a number of League Two teams and top end National League sides are eyeing a move for Gateshead's versatile defender Joe Grayson, and I'm not shocked at that at all. I think we're probably all in agreement. Too good for this level. The fantastic player. Last season, of course, hampered by injury. We'll get into more of that later on, but the retain list is out. There's also a new shirt coming very, very soon, and that's the new partnership with the club, with Hope and Glory, and we'll be talking about that a little bit later on. And of course, club legend, hero, Greg Olley has left the club for pastures new. He hasn't signed anywhere just yet, but obviously, if you've got any thank you messages for Greg or your favourite memory of Greg, please do send them out. I haven't asked Greg to come on. We've had a few players that have left the club, wanted to come on and talk. We'll probably do that in time over the summer. I don't know if now's the time because we haven't got the full gist of everything. I think things are still to unfold. So that's where we're at on that. And as I say, I'll put this up though. 1 second. There we go. Of course, it's episode 463, and we've got all our topics: retain list, Hope and Glory, who wins the playoffs. Of course, Oldham plays Southend this weekend. Next season, we've got a chairman's statement that came out as well from Burnham McWilliams. We've got question marks because what do you want to talk about? And we'll get into all of that. Before we start, I'll just remove that. And we've got some messages coming in already. We've got one in the rumour mill from Steve Farnfield, but we're, as we said, we're not going to dive into the rumour mill just yet. We've got Christopher Story, we've got St. Geordie, and there is actually some other news as well involving St. Geordie. Prize for St. Geordie, which is absolutely amazing. Made by the wonderful Johnny Gray. We'll get into that a little bit later. Mason's put high, Patrick Story, and we've got Johnny Gray, the man of the moment, flying solo tonight as Darcy is in Portugal with Nana and Granda. Well, YouTube on for her to watch, They can stop all the entertainment on the poolside and watch us in Portugal. We've got Mr. Luke, evening lads, absolutely good about Greg Olley, a true legend, hashtag thank you Greg, and David Tron has put evening all. Well,
evening everybody.
We'll get on to
evening.
Yeah, as I say, boys, I'll tell you what, I'll remove this a second. How are you doing, boys, yourselves first before we get any further forward?
I'm just cold. I'm on an island, so come on, Mickey, you can cheer the mood up.
Well, I'm a lot better now. As you know, lads, I've had to take a back seat from it because it was day in my head in. Ever since the end of the season, what went on, all the rumours, I just had to take a back seat, and I'm still not really full bore ready to go back into it. But,
I think you did the right thing, Mickey. Just stepping back and just taking time for yourself, So, yeah.
Well, if anyone's my friend on social media, they'll see that I had a belated birthday trip to Amsterdam with my wife. So we had 2 nights on the ferry.
It was a good day.
It was great. Had a lovely time, relaxing time. Obviously, the in-laws had the kids and the dog, so it was it was nice time. We had just us time to relax and have a wander and see the sights and sounds of Amsterdam. But the boat trip on the way over was very choppy.
Was it?
Well, I wasn't too bothered, but my wife's not that it is a factor, but she can't swim and she's very frightened of open water. And me being a cheapskate on this trip, I got a cabin with no windows, so she didn't know what was going on outside. So at about 3 o'clock in the morning on the way out, it's swaying side to side, and there's the odd thud, and just continuously. And she's like, "Is there a storm? Is there a storm?" And so she went out and had a look out the window, like in the passage, and then went down. Then she was all right. But also, with me being a bit of a cheapskate on this one, I booked bunk beds. Now, my wife made me get on the top bunk. Now, I'm not agile, all right? I get up there. Getting down was another story. With my jeans on, got up there. I mean, it was dangerous, but I'm here to tell the tale. But when she got up at like 4:00 in the morning because she was worried and had a look out the thing, I decided to get down. Now, bear in mind, I had done this in jeans and using like off the side of the metal bunk bed.
Before we go any further, I'm just gonna. Please don't tell me you were completely in the nude.
No. I had.
That's all right. You can carry on.
I had some shorts on, and I proceeded to hang myself by my testicles off the side of the bunk bed.
Oh.
I pinned my testicles underneath my gut, and I had to like maneuver each one over the side before I could get down.
Oh, and only dogs could hear you.
I'm still Wales could hear us. So, yeah.
Neither wonder the boat was rocking Steely.
They certainly didn't need a foghorn.
Actually, on the wildlife front, there was an orca specialist on the boat.
Nice.
That was out there. Nice. They could go and do like a nature watch when you're on the boat and stuff, and they had spotted so many whales and stuff like that. So
that was pretty rough, to be honest, to be dealing with that stuff.
Well, it was all right on the way back, but it was a lovely time. It was a lovely time. And
the orca watch, was he watching you go to the bed?
I tell you what, I seen some absolute bargains in the windows. There was some top class things about, I must admit. I mean, all I said, I'm not allowed to go back on a lads trip. That's all I was saying.
Did you bring back Mickey some cakes?
I didn't. Didn't fancy getting the finger exam at the customs. We've got Graham Jones has put evening all listening from Worcester. We've got the Vanessa, brighten up Thursday evening. Hopefully, I've brightened it up with my testicular pain. And we've got another person out in the wilds of the woolly. We've got hello from Bernary.
Bernary, yeah.
No puffins, lots of lapwings, oyster catchers in Arctic terms.
Hey, bird chat. Hey, we'll be getting John Olley next.
Hang on 1 second. You've mentioned John Olley. We've got to give it the
spoken like a true man.
There we go. You can't mention John Olley without doing that. And we've got the lovely Meg as well and Trina. So they're there with us. But look, let's get into this, of course. The big news after that broke before the retain list was that the news of club captain, probably the most successful captain in Gateshead's history, and a lovely lad, has went on to pastures new, and he put up his message there. We'll not read it verbatim, but obviously he talks about the incredible time that he's had, and and then obviously goes into a little bit about how tough it's been watching from the sidelines after his injury last year. I'd like to thank Greg for everything he's done on the pitch. I think I've mentioned this probably a couple of times before. My favourite memory of Greg, apart from he's playing fantastic, was when we won the league at Chorley, and me and Mark were still in the ground afterwards because Mark was getting interviews and stuff, and Greg took his time to come out of the changing room in the midst of all the celebrations and come out and give us a hug and said, "Enjoy it, Dave." And I was just like, that's my favourite moment of winning the league, not the celebrations of seeing the cup going up, and because obviously I wasn't involved running around on the pitch or anything like that. That was my takeaway moment. That was my special moment. And then obviously when we won the FA trophy, when he told us to stop crying when he was when he come down with a trophy. Special moments, special player, and I really hope he can, get back to the top Greg Olley after that horrific injury. We've seen him run around on the last game of the season, going through quite a vigorous warm up and stuff. So, hopefully he'll go back on to, doing what he does on the pitch at the highest level. But big thank you to Greg Olley for everyone.
Yeah, huge thank you. I think we'll brandish like legend around a bit too easy these days, but My goodness. I mean, he was a classy. He's a classy. Not only is he a classy player, but he was an intelligent player, wasn't he? Like linking up the front too. Go on, Mickey. I can see you chomping at the bit to say a few words.
Closest player we've ever come to having Paul Proudlock back. And coming from me, Derek Bell and Paul Proudlock are my two favourite players.
Yeah.
To see Greg's on par with Paul Proudlock.
Yeah.
I just hope, Greg, or the Ollies, if they're listening, please don't go into this league. Go higher up. You deserve to go higher up. Don't waste the God-given talent you've got in this league. Go higher up.
He's such a class player. He can be. I think he could play first division. Never mind second.
I think he could play League One as well, personally.
Yeah, definitely.
Mr. Lucas put hope his next club is an EFL club, deserves his move to one. Yeah, I mean, Angel of the North, Tracy, she's put, I'll miss seeing Greg around and shouting vegetarian at each other. I can still shout things at you, Tracy, on a match day if you want. Don't worry about that.
Is Greg a vegetarian enough?
He must be. Wishing Greg nothing but the best in his next move. He's absolutely given everything he would love to see him in the EFL next season, definitely. Even in all, how's everyone's shame about Greg leaving the club? It certainly is. St. Geordie has put Greg Olley, my favourite ever Gateshead player. He'll be missed, but I'll keep in tabs on him when he finds a new club. Yeah, I kind of do that with every player that leaves, to be honest. You know,
well, if you think Francis went to Exeter and in his first season we basically played every game, just about. Real instrumental to Exeter City in the League One. I think Ollie's better. I think Olley can play in League One comfortably. He's that good. He's an intelligent football player, you know. So just that link up he's just brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
sorry, Dave.
Sorry, we got him here through the ages at Gateshead, you know, and you know, like his first goal. I mean, he come on the podcast a while ago, didn't he? And was it wearing the shirt that he scored his first goal in away to Maidenhead? You know,
the cross.
Yeah, it wasn't a cross. That was a shot. Come on.
It was.
We've got yes, Greg is a vegetarian. Imagine how good he'd play if he had the odd burger. It'd be amazing. Hoping Greg will be back one day as manager. Who knows? Do you think the
interview who's in charge?
Yeah, exactly. Well, moving on to that, obviously, you know, the interview can't be ignored. Do you think the interview suggested that he was leaving? Yes. To say it probably burnt a few bridges would be an understatement. It was an interview of intent. As we mentioned on the last podcast, you know, we don't know the full story. We're still waiting. That's Greg's versions of events. Not that I'm saying I disbelieve him, but you know, there's been a lot of factors going on, and as we said before, I think you know, Chinese whispers has led to conspiracy at all levels, whether it's been the players, the fans, and then God knows what on beyond the board. You know, I still hope that there will be a meeting with the fans, with the chairman and the board, as it were, to, you know, wipe the slate clean and everyone can look forward to moving forwards. I think it's needed. I think there is a clear the air. To use a weather analogy, you can feel a static around at the moment. Still, we need the storm to calm it, you know, and you know, take us into a brighter future. Look, obviously, congratulations to Bernard McWilliams becoming chairman, says Craig. We have got a statement from Bernard that was put out in the past week as well. But if you're just joining us, please do send your messages for Greg. I'm sure he'll be watching, or his mum and dad will be, and you know, we'll see. Hopefully, he gets to see them, and one day we'll reach out to get Greg on because, you know, I don't have to say this. There's a lot of love for him.
Huge amounts of love and support.
You know, I mean, just at the beginning of the season when he scored that hat trick, and you know, he was flying, and it was like, I was like, oh my word, this looks special. You know, it wasn't a good win. It was a demolition of sides. You know, and yeah.
Actually, sorry, just thinking of that as well. His last ever game was a hat trick. I bet there's not many players can actually say that. You lost every game for a club.
Well, it was the Woking game where he actually got injured, but his last was up in Africa.
Aye, true. Aye, sorry, last week. Aye, sorry, Mickey.
Last home game, yeah.
No.
Yeah, it is quite a shame how things have everything worked out ultimately at the end of the season. I think everyone would agree with that. But there is other news, of course, with the club. The retain list came out as well. So here we are.
Are we retained, lads? Are we retained?
I don't know if we're retained from ourselves yet. We don't know. There's going to have to be a lot of contract negotiations. Kit Kat and Skittles probably will be involved.
Image contract for Mickey as well.
Yeah. So going forward here,
that's just a kebab, Steely.
Yeah.
Sorry,
you don't get this price figure just eating bananas.
Yeah. As things stand, the team the squad that will be involved at the beginning of the season, unless there's transfers out, is Tim Akinola, Regan Booty, Tiernan Brooks, Joe Grayson, which we've seen has been linked with a move on Twitter. Brandon Horton, Jovan Malcolm, Will McGowan, Tyrell Newton, Frank Noble, Connor Panny, which is good. I want to see Connor Panny get a chance. Kenton Richardson, Aidan Rutledge is still under contract. Max Sheaf, Ollie Thompson, and Ben Williams. And then options activators is Kane William, Fenton John, and George Shelby. Now, whether that team
is a good team there.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Whether or not they're all there at the beginning of the season, if transfers happen or not, because we know that these players have been, targets for quite some time by other clubs, higher and in our league, would be something to build around. Then we go on to contracts offered. Harrison Bond and Jacob Butterfield and Brandon Honstrup have all been offered contracts. So this was last week. This came out, so we don't know if there's been any developments on that. Discussions ongoing. Ryan Bartley, Charlie Colkett, Luke Hannant, Robbie Tinkler, and Ben Warman. Now you look at that, and there's I'd say 3 players that you would put in contention to start any match. The other players, the likes of Colkett needs to prove his fitness and get a good season under his belt. I think there is a player in there. Ryan Bartley, I enjoyed what I've seen from him. A young man, strong, physical. And, if you're going to lose Joe Grayson, then, a young, strong pair of legs there, and, he's not afraid to go in for a tackle either, would be, I'm not going to say an adequate replacement because we don't know if Joe Grayson's definitely going to go, but, there is signs towards that. But released, we know these players aren't going to be here. Tom Allen, flattered to deceive, really, in a Gateshead shirt. I'll hold my hands up. Wembley put a great performance in. He put a good work rate in, put the crosses in for the goal. But bar that, we didn't see the potential of Tom Allen. I think is there. Jamie Bramwell, he's been released. I don't know.
We didn't really say enough of Bramwell. He done everything near the end of the season, but
I think John Bellahoon, who wants to come on the podcast, we will get him on in the summer. Ultimately, and I'll say this to him as well, I think the Ballers League has put the nail in his coffin at the club. I don't know the circumstances of the permission to play in it or anything like that. I'm not going to cast aspersions or anything like that, but it did seem that hampered his time at the club once that started. I must admit, it doesn't take a forensic scientist to work that one out. But a good player. I wouldn't have been disappointed if he had stayed. But wish him best, or all 3 of the players that's left, including Greg, in going forward. We've got lots of messages coming in as
I must admit, I did like John Bellahoon. He's a lovely bloke.
Yeah,
I did as well. Yeah.
Someone's put Carl Magnier needs to leave the club. We need a fresh start. We've got can't wait to read Greg's book, Modern Day Gateshead, great player who deserves much better. All the best to him. I'm sure the best is yet to come. Patrick Story, Darba Shahid has put all right, lads. Greg, as a true gentleman, has been a credit to the club, definitely capable of playing higher, and I wish him every success. Very concerned he has been allowed to leave. I think it was in Greg's hands that he said he wanted to leave. By the sounds of it, that he's departed the club.
His contract was up, wasn't it? So
yeah, I don't think he wanted it. I mean, I'm, don't want to guess too much, but I guess that he wasn't interested in going into contract negotiations. We will miss you, Greg. One of my favourite Gateshead players of all time, in my opinion. He deserved it. We've got Nubly and Akinola on big contracts. We don't know what the players are on. We know that they signed a 18-month, was it a 2-year deal when they signed?
Next season,
yeah. Steve Thornfield would suggest that the retain list may not be as it looks there at the start of the season. Money talks, yes, we've alluded to that. There probably there will be transfer things to come in. Would love an update on Butterfield, who was a big miss, and Honstrop. Well, they've been offered terms. I'd love to see Jacob Butterfield in, because I'm not saying he's a replacement for Greg Olley, but he is a player that can link things up in midfield. And when Greg initially went missing with the injury, Jacob Butterfield took up that role, and Newton, and it took a little bit of cohesion, didn't it, to try and see who was going to be that player. But if Jacob Butterfield is back next season, I certainly wouldn't complain about that. Rutledge deserves a chance next season. His goal scoring record was brilliant last season. But he's going to have to show it in pre-season, and so is Frank Nubly as well. I mean,
providing we'll get a pre-season started.
Yeah, we haven't had any fixtures announced yet, have we? But
no.
I mean, that's not a dig at Frank Nubly, but we haven't seen the best of him. We need these players now to step up and step forward and show what they can do. Jovan Malcolm, I heard, had suitors last season towards the back end, or because of his performances. So if players are to leave or to come in, this is the chance for them to stake their claim and say, look, I'm that number 9, I'm that number 10. And we've just got to hope people hit the ground running.
But good news as well is that those players are contracted, so people will have to pay money. You're not getting Grayson for nothing. Back in the day, these players would have all been coming at the end of their contract at the end of the season, and half of them leave for free. So at least we'll make something from them.
Well, Mr. Doom and Gloom, Steve Thornfield is back in full effect. Last season's spell has completely went. Foresee very few of those players, other than the younger ones, still being here. Shame about Bellahoon, good player. Shame Olley didn't get the full send off of his injury, but that's football sometimes, says Chris Rory. It is. I would say, I wonder which promising Derby attacker we'll be getting next season. Well, we've had a run of that. I don't know if that will happen again. Good to hear Olley has left, a true Heed legend. Good luck to him in the future. That's from Sam Pendleton. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But Davey, not only we're losing Greg, could we be losing John as well? Oh dear me. He's going to probably follow his son. Let's be honest. So,
while we've still got him, let's enjoy him. The magnificent specimen that is John Olley.
Spoken like a true man.
We'll have to find something new for one of the new, something new for another listener. We'll have to get a new catchphrase.
I mean, you've got Luke Hannon now. Luke Hannon's due the contract.
Well, leading goal scorer,
player of the season,
player of the season, right across the board. He took all 4 awards. A player that is, when he plays well, we play well. And I'd like to think he would stay. I know he does have a house in the northeast, but he's a man with talent and still a lot to offer at this level, and maybe even the level above. And he might gamble on himself. But I hope he does. I hope he is in a Gated shirt next year.
I'd be shocked if he's not in the South End one.
Yeah, I'm definitely not being a South End one. We've got St. Geordie. It's a tough recruit anyone, including loans, due to the problems with the club. Well, that's why there needs to be a meeting.
That's what needs sorted first and foremost.
Yeah, there needs to be a meeting. But talking about a get-together, on my birthday, I went down to the fabulous Fog on the Tyne. Didn't get a freebie. get a freebie. I had to pay. They are very interested in hosting us for a party stroke show in pre-season. We're looking at a Thursday night. We're looking at getting a band on as well. It won't be a live show, but I was going to ask the fabulous Ryan Monty if he maybe make a little documentary for us and record. If he's so willing to do so, that would be, and we'll make a video of that to go on the channel if he's wanting to do that, and maybe a couple of raffle prizes on the night. We'll raise some money and put it into the Solent Foundation. I think that'd be a good thing to do. We'll pack it out. Hopefully, we'll all have a good time. You never know. We might be able to get some players down, or people from the club, and let's build bridges. Let's try
build a boxing ring outside, and the players and the board of directors can have a good fight.
Well, say I'm not taking bets. News on Facebook, according to South Shields Supporters Alliance. Welcome to South Shields, Ian Watson and Carl Magny. I've seen that rumor around, but I haven't seen
any news out tonight, guys, on Twitter or anything.
I don't think there is, but obviously that's the rumor mill. So, but wishing Busted all the best at South Shields, and I did send him a message, a DM, to say the same. He's one of football's nice guys. I can't put into words the love I've got for Busted. He's
a good manager.
His philosophy on football is magnificent. The way he composes himself and talks to people, he's I wish him all the best. Not too much because I don't like South Shields, but I wish him all the best because I think that man has a very bright future in football, and I think South Shields will only be the start of his managerial career as the head honcho. We've got can't wait to see Widderton for a special guest for Mickey.
You know what it is, Mason? Compared to some of the arseholes we've had last season, Tommy Widderton would probably do the trick.
Yeah. Darcy has arrived. She's poolside from Portugal. Hello, Darcy.
Darcy, hello.
Darcy, I hope you're having a wonderful time.
We hope you're having a lovely holiday. Let's see what else we've got on the agenda. There you go. You may have seen that. Breaking news, everybody. Breaking news. We have partnered with Hope and Glory, the new kit providers for Gateshead Football Club.
Very nice.
And, we heard on the grapevine very soon, we might see new strips being unveiled. But we'd like to thank Rick and the guys at Hope and Glory. I would say we dropped them an email when it was announced. Like, Rick, hey, Shy Ben's get nothing, and they are going to be making some podcast t-shirts. So we'll have one to wear on the show, and we're going to be getting a few as well to give away on the podcast. And the design is very nice. It's a smart t-shirt. And tell Trina, shut up. I was here.
Trina, shut up.
There we go. So yeah, but no.
Typical women, can it help themselves? Can they?
Nah. So I mean, 1 second. I'll put this up. So we
can talk. We can talk.
So we're looking, obviously, at the strips when it was announced, and we thought, there's some nice ones there. There's some decent ones. I mean, the eyes are automatically drawn to the claret and blue numbers. There's a lot of like retro looking ones. I mean, that one there, the Colwyn Bay one looks a bit like a West Ham top, doesn't it? And so does that one, the Colwyn Bay retro 91-93. Must be like a remake there. But I'm excited to see, and they do a little bit of personalization to the clubs as well within their strips. And as you can see, look at the Pina Colada one. We were talking to Rick, and apparently I'm going to put that one on screen because apparently the man that wrote the Pina Colada song was originally from Northwich.
No way.
Yeah. So they linked up with him for that.
Pina Colada.
Yeah, so that's about that, isn't it?
I love that. It's got pineapple on it and everything.
Yeah, it's got it all there. And then obviously looking down, and they've obviously linked up with.
Are we going to have the Angel on ours? I wonder.
I don't know. I haven't a clue, but I mean her
good
game
God.
2 as well, which I did see quite a lot of because they were selling the her game 2 on the website and stuff. So I've seen that about, and obviously Chester's strip last year was quite nice.
Prescott Cables away.
Prescott Cables away. Where's that one? Let's
Oh,
have
yeah,
What? Shite, bollock, shite.
Other words could be used.
That one.
Yeah, that one's nice.
Yeah,
What I like, we were saying to Rick from Hope and Glory that the lion badge is something different, isn't it? You know, obviously you've got like the Nike tick and things like that, and the giant peak for Patrick, but that just looks a little bit smarter, doesn't it? It looks a little bit different because obviously they've got their apparel brand as well, but they have won awards. They are quite a new company, and I know it sounds like we're doing the whole, you know, brown nose, and we're not. We're just because they come 6 a few seasons ago for one of their designs. There you go, no therapy away, Hope and Glory, and I'll get rid of that there. But yeah, that is quite a smart strip, and I like the as I say, I like the line on it. They do actually have one that will go. I'll put it back on because they've done the Falkland Islands away shirt, look, and the home shirt. But look, on the back, it's got the map of the Falkland Islands, the out shape and that. So
I've still got the Ferriby one on.
Yeah, the person. Sorry,
I've still got the.
Sorry, I've got the wrong. Here we are. There we go. There's the Falkland Islands. So, and then on the back here, it's got the islands. So that the personalized. So I'm interested to see what's going to come with the Gateshead one, because we're talking to them. They do their due diligence on the clubs.
And we're playing them in a friendly.
Could you imagine? Yeah, it'd be great, wouldn't it? Falkland Islands away. As I say, there's a couple other strips where like there's one here. I know he was quite aggrieved. That one looks like a Sunderland shirt, doesn't it? The Bradley Found. Yeah, it is. It is Sunderland, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sunderland, Bradley Lowry Foundation. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's very similar to the shirt that they just got promoted in at Wembley. But that one is there. It's like a classic Leeds shirt, isn't it? It's like that type of style, early 90s, late 80s.
Yeah.
You know, I like that. And
I'm looking forward to it now. I'm getting excited.
Yeah.
To be honest, for a new company, when we looked at the shirts, when it come up about them being like a partner with a club, obviously you clicked on the links and had a look at the shirts. You know, I was mighty impressed for such a newish company. And some of the stuff they've got is really nice, and I'm not just blowing smoke up big sauce.
No.
I mean, we've got like the little like Levi style tag on the side as well. So you see, look, they've got all the like personalization for the different clubs and things like that. So it's exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring to the table in the days. But yeah, we'd like to say a big thank you to Hope and Glory. And say we will have prizes to give away soon. So hopefully, you know, by the next, because as I say, it is a bit of a summer break, isn't it? I'm not expecting any massive news that would warrant a podcast for a couple of weeks. But yeah, and so thank you to Hope and Glory. We're very, very grateful for the link. Yeah, and also as well, I mean, you know, it just proves that the link up that we did with Patrick before, you know, it would do things the right way, and we're very, very appreciative. And Hope and Glory, you know, working with the club, if we can help Hope and Glory sell more shirts, that's more money for the club. So let's get behind them. I know Rick is going to be looking on the internet tomorrow with. Or the day after, possibly for the strip, you know, to see what the reaction is. So I think he's hoping that it's got. That was a Freudian slip, wasn't it?
And by the way, can I just come in?
No. Yeah.
It's proper sizes.
Proper sizes, Mickey. Proper sizes.
So if you're a 3XL. You buy a 3XL shirt, it'll fit.
Yeah.
If you're like me and you get a one when it's got a walk in the front.
Yeah. It'll fit.
It'll fit.
We'll lift the curtain a little bit. We spoke to Rick before the show, and he's going to come on hopefully in the next few weeks. It's a very busy time for them because they're trying to get all the strips and all the designs sorted for the new season for all the clubs that they provide for. But we were speaking to him before the show, and that was the first thing I asked because I knew Mickey would be right on him like a terrier, and he was.
I knew that.
And I asked about the shirt sizes. I said because obviously modern football shirts, they are like I think Kappa was the first one, wasn't it? That had like the slim fit things, and then everyone seemed to follow suit. But their shirts are real sizes, and what Rick said to me is that if you went to Primark and bought any other high street brand, if you bought a 2XL, it would fit. This shirt would fit like that 2XL. They've worked on the size. This isn't just lip service from them about putting out what the sizes, and then you having to buy like a 7XL to fit in a 2XL. It's not that type of thing. So yeah, we'll see. We thank them on, but we've got people there. But big fan of Hope and Glory. Welcome aboard. The Falkland Islands away has to be a Mickey take. No, it's not. They played in the Island Games, which was held in Jersey. I believe it's. If you go on the website, you'll see the information with the shirt. So it's
a thing about the Island Games. It used to years ago. I don't know if you remember Team Talk magazine, Steely.
Yeah, I remember Team Talk.
Yeah, well, every summer they used to cover that. Where it used to be like Gibraltar and all these different teams playing.
Shetland Islands.
Aye,
that's right. We still do it. We still play that tournament.
Hang on, boys! Breaking news.
Spoken like a true man.
John Olley's still with you guys. The three amigos in my heart forever.
Oh, John, that's nice of you.
John,
well, I'll bear that in mind when we come for with tea.
Yeah, we've got John give Greg a massive hug from me. It's going to be a big miss. Can we have how do we have a modern shirt with a classic design? Well, I think that's what we could be getting by looking at the shirts on the Hope and Glory website. So have a look. On podcasts going forward, it will have, because there's going to be a dedicated store on the Hope and Glory website for buying all Gateshead merchandise.
Wow.
More news to come with that tomorrow, because I think I might have even said too much already. We've got plain green and white stripes would be enough to please
me. He's not even entertaining it, is he? Mickey, you're just disgusted.
Oh, I didn't see
Mr.
this.
Farnfield, I am deeply disappointed. That's all I'm going to say.
Before we go on to the next bit of news,
breaking news.
But it's not breaking news, but this is the next bit of news. Obviously, the Prediction League, the marvelous Johnny Gray, has had some magnets made of our magnificent podcast logo. So St. Geordie will be the first recipient of said magnet. And he's been kind enough to give us a few that we can give away throughout the season as well. So we'll see. And Johnny Gray he's been an absolute star. Obviously there's the table there. He put a lot of work into it, and I don't want to presume that he's doing it next season, but if he is, it'd be amazing. And thank you very much, because we put the work in, but to have listeners engaging and doing things like what Johnny's done there throughout this season is testament to you. I mean, we're not even playing games at the moment, and we've got quite a few watching live, and we're eternally thankful. Really.
Well, the Prediction League will be easy next season. You just start with gated 0.
The thing is, you won't predict a defeat, so it's going to be a lot of 0-0 draws for you, then, mate.
That's a very good point, to be fair.
Yeah. But no, as I say, I'll take this, put us back to there, and then I've got to get that picture up a little bit bigger. So there we go. So there's a few of them will be, but if you notice, it's a fridge magnet. It's for where chocolate goes in the fridge, just to remind people. That's from the words of Johnny Gray himself. Amazing. Thank you very much. And as I say, obviously there's a thing there for Hope and Glory. If you're just joining us, we have got a new partnership with them, like we did with Patrick. And we're looking forward.
We did last summer.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing their shirts that come out. Steve Farnfield put what we got here. What we got.
More negativity.
Hang on. Does the Isle of May have a team? Captain Steely. We should have said that. We should have said that, no, shouldn't we? That there should be an Isle of May shirt.
We should have. When I was on the Farne Islands, we used to have a team and we played against the locals. We had to go in on an evening and play against the locals on the pitch. Yeah, that was quite good fun.
Anyway. That could be our only signing, as I'm praying for hope and glory next season.
What's it called? Was that the big derby, Sea Houses?
It was Sea Houses against the Fawns. Yeah, it was the derby match.
Honestly,
I was a nasty bugger as well. I always let me foot in. I played in defence. Anyway,
Mason's put, if Mags goes to Shields, I would take Millington. I mean, let's not, do the manager any injustice. He's still the manager of the club at the moment. We'll just have to see what happens on that front. I know there's rumours, but as we found out many a time, there is not many rumours come true sometimes. But yeah. Right, let's have a little look about what else we've got. We've got any more messages. But as I say, if you're just joining us, massive thank you. Hit that like and subscribe button, and please do get fully involved. There is talks of Joe Grayson having suitors in the National League and in the Football League. Greg Olley has left. Greg Olley has left for pastures new. The retain list is out as well. And also, before we go any further forward, our friends at the Gateshead FC Foundation tomorrow have a free breakfast club for kids and activities, and that is at the Teams Life Centre. So May 30th, that is tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. No need to register, just turn up. So get yourselves down to there if you are at a loose end with the kids tomorrow, because it is the holidays, and when you get to the end of the holidays, you run out of things to do. We've got £120 for a new shirt. I don't think so. They look reasonably priced when you go on the website. So, for instance, I think it's £35 or £40, depending on the club. 45. So it looks like that's
acceptable, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time with William stands on, though.
Yeah, and what about the poor pensioners? You're not poor yet. Angela Reeves hasn't touched you yet. You're all right. So you can buy 3 Steve Farnfield for everybody. But if there's any other business, but there is some here that we'd like to talk about. Hadn't actually seen this, and it's quite sad news. Mickey, I see the ladies got relegated, sadly. Any news of the new season yet?
Oh, did they?
I haven't got a clue. But they finished in the bottom 3. They drew the last game against Washington. I'm not actually sure what's happening, because I've took a back seat from the club, as you fully well know, and I haven't got a clue whether the lasses are going to remain or not. I'd like to think they will, because it's supposed to be an inclusive club, and that includes women.
Yeah.
So hopefully it will, but who knows? Because whether the money's there, I don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't know.
Blimey.
Sorry, we've got some news here. Apparently, the no breakfast club on due to lack of interest. That's sad news. So
that is sad news. Yeah.
One there. We've got. Let's have a little look here. Hopefully, Peter O'Rourke is as accurate as he was on Joe Grayson, as he reporting about the York manager being sacked last week. Yeah, I did see that one online.
Oh, I didn't see that. Is that the rumour mill? Was it?
That was a rumour. York put a statement out saying we can confirm that he is our manager, which was quite funny. Oh, hang on a second. Here's a bit of interesting news.
It's early days, obviously.
Yeah. Did anyone see that all the shots accounts being late? No, I didn't.
Ooh.
Great.
Yeah.
They've got away with that because of being on the league committee.
Yeah.
Seeing that all that Twitters is good, you arseholes.
Can you imagine if that was little gated? Oh
yeah.
Go a place in the league that we'll get in the playoffs.
We've got a message on Twitter. Stephanie put fixtures out on the 18th of June onwards for the National league.
I heard early July for the National League.
Is it? Also as well, I mean, not that it affects us, but Vanarama are no longer the sponsors of the National League, so we'll have a new name next season.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
This is breaking news. Whoa.
Mm.
What's obviously a big game on Saturday for the two teams. Who do you think will do it out there at Oldham?
Sunday.
Sorry.
I think Oldham might do it myself.
I'm sure it's Saturday the first, but anyway. You think Oldham will sneak it, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll go up. What about next season? I know we'll talk about it in future podcasts, but who are you fancying our league? York?
Yeah, I think York's going to spend the money.
And just go.
I think Carlisle will have something to say in it.
Hey,
I think Mark
Hughes, haven't they?
I think Mark Hughes will be gone by mid-November.
Wow.
They'll be languishing mid-table. And I don't see them.
I thought they were throwing money at it, Davey. I thought they were going to throw money at this.
Well, they've already thrown millions at it, haven't they? But I just don't see it.
Look where it got them. Yeah.
I don't see it turning around quickly. For the
They've
fans,
been changing around everything at the back, and now they've got rid of the sporting director and the scouting network, and they've replaced it all.
It might get better, then it might get better. Mickey Scully has put all the shot blamed it on transferring to a new system, but that's 2 years in a row. It's been late. Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's one rule for one, another rule for others.
Didn't think much of Southend when we played them, no, but they got the job done, didn't they? That's the difference.
I think they came into the job honestly. We're looking for the draw and got it.
York have had a couple of bids knocked back for PS worth 150. Well, if they're signing players for 250, they're not going to let them go for that, are they?
Well, PS only cost them 50 grand, though, didn't he?
Yeah. Oldham Athletic to go up next season. It'll be 3 up, 3 down.
It should happen, but it's not going to happen. They'll not get it, because I think all the football league clubs
voting for Christmas.
It's not the National League's. It's not the National League's decision. I think it's the football league teams have to put it through, and there's no way because everyone's scared up there because obviously 3 down, so there's no chance it's going to go. It should go through, but it's not going to go through.
I'd say Mickey said earlier in the season, say Turkey's voting for Christmas, isn't it?
Turkey's to vote for Christmas.
Yeah. I fancy
Absolutely.
Southend on Sunday. I'm not gonna watch it, but it'll be an interesting. It does win.
To be fair.
Yeah.
Next season, lads, where it's sort of gone, we've got quite a few northern clubs in the division next year. It's not quite as southerly biased as it was. So obviously, we've still got a big few long hauls, but we've gained, I think Morecambe, Carlisle.
Well, you've got that. Don't forget the local derby with Truro.
Yeah, I mean, but if Southend are the team to go up, you're going to have Halifax, Oldham, York, Rochdale, Morecambe, Carlisle, Altrincham. Yeah. There's a 6, 7
Hartlepool.
It's going to be 7 games that are within 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Which is nice because it's been a little while. It's been very southern dominated, hasn't it? So
maybe 3 hours and 3.5 for the Rochdale and what I call it, depending on traffic. But very reachable day trips, aren't there? That's the thing.
That's right.
If you think we've got long trips, Truro's got a long trip now because even to London, that's 5 hours. At least 5 hours, by the way.
I wonder if
see how they transition to that, the longer overnight stays and stuff. It will be, be hard going.
I wonder for the first time probably ever that we've been in the division if there's a club now travelling further than us.
Possibly.
It's possibly going to be because if we think we're,
we just mentioned all them long trips and shorter trips for us. They're long for them,
Exactly.
So,
but Carlisle, of course. Carlisle's just across the 2 hours on the train.
Yeah.
Well, Yeovil must be their nearest now, but that's still about 3 hours. It's a hell of a haul from So, I bet True will go 2 miles.
Greetings from West Peterborough. Looking forward to more twists before the start.
Absolutely.
One thing you can probably guarantee next season.
Joe, that's what keeps us going.
Yeah. Oh well, look at this next season promotion for the Heat. Almost, he's back on the happy stuff. Almost guaranteed. York and Truro will run us close. We've got. Say it was Hope and Forest Green won the playoffs, so we didn't have to travel to them. And Truro next season, but you both know games will be on a Tuesday. Oh yes,
you've got a point there. I feel sorry for Sean White and Lee Calder and all. I'm going to them on a Tuesday night.
Truro City, God, Bennett.
A lot of flights Exeter for the Truro game, I think.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, before we go, we'll say a big thank you to Hope and Glory again, because obviously they've partnered up with us. We'll have some prizes to give away, and we'll look smart on a podcast day as well to show our colours with the Hope and Glory and the podcast, and of course to promote the club.
You've got to wait for the retained list, Davey. Podcast retained list.
The podcast retained list will be coming out soon. So we're still knowing if we can entice Mickey to stay. He has had offers.
I'll have to get on a fitness test to see if I can run in the kitchen twice.
Mickey has to be able to do 1 star jump, 1 push up, and go 20 minutes without a tab.
It's been nice knowing you, Mickey. It's been nice knowing you.
Hey, I exercise every morning. It's down 1, 2, up 1, 2, then the other sock.
Yeah. And you're out of breath doing that. Well, on that note, we'll wrap it up because obviously we haven't got that much more to talk about.
I've got one thing to say to you, by the way. I was out with a friend of mine the other day, and we've done 8,193 steps.
Wow! Bloody hell!
The ears must have been ringing after listening to all of that.
Oh, I tell you what, my uncle's been killing all day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that chocolate. Oh, hang on 1 second. Good night, girls. We've got chocolate test and bird quiz for new presenters. Yeah.
Well said, Jody.
Yeah. Well, we don't know when the next podcast will be. Keep an eye out for the new shirts coming from Hope and Glory for the club, and also as well, as I say, we'll keep an eye out for whenever we're going to put a show on. My son's sending an announcement over Alexa. Thank you to Steely and Mickey and everyone that's joined us tonight. We've had very high numbers. Remember, hit that like and subscribe. It really does help. And next season we want to get more guests on. This year, whatever reason, it just didn't happen. People didn't reply back and stuff. But we're going to endeavour to do more pre-recorded interviews and things like that. So we're going to try and grow the show so we get more people to the club. That's all it is all about. And once again, I think the lads of the Grievers enjoying this. Good luck to Greg Olley wherever he ends up.
Good luck to any of them who are leaving, to be fair. Hope they
get the careers on.
But we're keeping John and Anne.
Yay!
Happy summer.
I think we should just hijack them and kidnap them and keep them.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, just pack food into the wardrobe where the two of them can sleep.
Well, on that note, everybody, we are going to try and evade the police and delete this part of the podcast.
I'm going to see if they can't missing us so we get the blame.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, God. Please,
well, don't go anywhere.
Boys, thank you very much. We'll leave it there and keep an eye out for any notifications when the next show is. But we'll probably have about 2 or 3 weeks off, depending on what news breaks and how much there is to talk about. But remember, hit the subscribe button and tell your friends about it. And we'll go through all again next season, boys.
Yeah. All I can say is if you're going on holiday, enjoy your holidays, folks. Wear your gator tops. Be loud and proud, and we'll see you all next season. And thank you for everything. All the kind words.
Because we've got new partners, tell people when you're wearing your gator top that there's a better one coming out. Right. Because obviously no one will have it yet. Right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.